I guess we don't have any official intro, so
It's okay. Okay, so
ta-da!
so in the long line of sequels that no one ever asked for, here we are, Matrix
Yeah.
4.
Another Matrix sequel,
And
which screams to me, I swear I don't suck at this.
yeah, no, I mean I feel like this is reactionary to the last two Matrix movies just being.
What do you grade those movies? They were so not the Matrix. Like, if you even took them as standalone movies, they're barely passable. Like the visual effects, all the martial arts, all of that stuff was great. The highway scene with Trinity on the motorcycle, epic. All of that,
Sure.
the production design, all freaking great. But plot wise, what is
Well,
going on in those
it
movies?
was pretty telling when like the second one started off with Neo going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's literally the writer saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the character now.
I turned the character into Superman, and I never thought what to do afterwards.
Yeah. But enough about those because we could talk about those forever. So
Well, I'm just trying to create a framework, right? So this this is now what do you call it? Is it a saga?
it's
Is it
sure,
is it an anthology? Anthologies are five, sagas are four.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But you are now crescendoing past trilogy, hoping to redeem yourselves. Is this going to be another trilogy? And is that what they're trying to do here? Is
I I haven't really heard anything, and honestly, I haven't really followed this at all. And so, I mean, like I
I
knew they
didn't
were
know.
making
I
it, but
literally didn't know until today. Like
um,
somebody posted pictures online at one point. They're like filming of the Matrix. I was like, ha ha ha, very funny.
right.
And I thought like the original Matrix. I was
Because
like, okay,
they've been talking about doing another Matrix movie for a long time. So this isn't like sort of unheard of, but the Wachowskis have long said, yeah, we're done, we've moved on, and things like that.
I think. I mean, it's sort of telling that only one of them is back.
Yeah, I
So
hear
one of
that.
them had one of them had the drive to do it.
I hear that was a scheduling conflict, but you never know. I mean, if it's
I mean, that's Hollywood speak for like we don't want to work with each other anymore on this.
right, right. Um, but your general reaction of the trailer of a movie that no one asked for and everyone was content just to let the franchise die.
Phantom Menace. It
That's
felt
what.
like the Phantom. It felt like the Phantom Menace. The moment I started watching, I'm like, ah, this feels like the original Matrix. It's slow
Mm-hmm.
and it's moody and it doesn't seem to be trying to like overly flex its VFX that have been able we've been able to do through the entirety of the Avengers. Like, there's nothing new that you're going to do in this movie VFX wise, which was what made the original Matrix.
Yeah, but I mean, but I will say this though: as far as the visuals in the trailer, I think they look fantastic.
It looks great.
I think it. I
It
mean,
looks
it.
good.
It's just like not even just the effects, but just the cinematography looks
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
definitely when you're watching a trailer and in the trailer you're not seeing an overly uh, hyped use of shot reaction shot, like a lot of OTS over the shoulder crap, like actual scenes of people doing things and having conversations standing in actual places instead of on some sort of dumbass green screen. Like, I'm sorry, but it is like no knock to the people who do green screen, but like show me an actual building, put me in an actual place in the real world. If you're going to go to San Francisco, if you're going to go to these places and you're going to make this movie, that's great because you're physically in a space. So that gives you kind of a leg up over most movies I've seen for the last 10 years,
Yeah,
you know? Because everything now is just being reduced down to a green screen. And it's
you
like,
you don't watch movies anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. The last 10 years. 10 years ago was probably the last time you watched a movie.
no, that's not true. The last one I saw was the last Spider Man with Tom Holland.
Okay.
The, what
Far
was
from
it?
home.
Far From Home, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. But I haven't, yeah, you're right. There hasn't been anything worth going to the theaters for in like 2 years.
would you see this in the theaters?
I was burned on the last ones.
I know.
So, no,
I
no, no.
I'm leaning towards yes, even though yeah, I remember walking out of the third one like
I'll
at
tell you. I'll
six
tell
in
you
the
what.
morning, just dead eyed and bored.
Yes, bored and regretting having seen it, and that's not a
Yeah.
feeling I should. I shouldn't come out of the movie feeling like I just watched The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I here? What's the point of all of this? And I feel like if if we're gonna be real, if it gets good word of mouth the first week, and I'm not talking like Entertainment Tonight, and
Yeah.
my mom's calling me, in her 70s, going, "Are you gonna shoot that Matrix movie?" And like that's not gonna win me over, right? Like I don't need PR, I don't need bus stop signs. I need actual people who I actually know to have gone and seen the movie and then come back and said, you need to go check this out. Because that's how I saw the first one. I had no idea what the first one was even about.
I
And
didn't even see the first one in theaters. I saw it a year later when it came out on VHS.
yeah, I owned that VHS and let somebody borrow it and they melted it in their car. It was a problem that we had.
Yeah. Um so what do you think is going on?
In the trailer as far as like the plot. I mean, they're obviously trying to mislead, deceive, whatever it is. There's obvious deceptions, right? Because like we get Morpheus, but we get young Morpheus, I guess, and we get
I guess so. I
or
don't know.
or proxy Trinity. I mean, it seems like he's in a matrix that was created around the pre-existing world he was in before,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that he exists maybe in some sort of loop where he constantly breaks out and then they catch him and then they restart it. That would be my theory, at least. Like if I was going to write it, I'd write it as like a loop, right?
So
And he
I
and he breaks it and he gets out and then you catch him and you put him back in and he breaks it and he gets out. And each time you make the simulation better and better and better because you're testing it against him, right?
okay.
Only now, right? The movie's going to start where something has happened, right? It's called. There's a subtitle. Is it called Resurrection or something like that, or
Resurrection, yeah. Because
Erection? I
I
don't know.
well, I think that's in reference to, if you watch Revolutions, Neo basically died, but they said at the end, "Oh, we'll see him again," as the Matrix was recreated at the end of Revolutions.
Right.
What I'm getting from this is that he's not wanting to let go, because Trinity is there.
Right. So
The subconscious is hanging on.
I'm wondering if they don't have physical bodies anymore,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
which is why there's no more Morpheus, which is why those are all simulations, right? Those people are dead. Who knows how long it's been? It
Hmm.
could be, it could be 1,000 years later,
Yeah.
right?
Well, in the description of it, they mentioned it as being a sequel to the original Matrix movie, which has led to a lot of people
Interesting.
speculate like, oh, does this disregard parts 2 and 3? I mean, and that's the thing. They could go down that rabbit hole. They can say parts 2 and 3 didn't happen really. They happened, virtually or
simulation.
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They could go in a million different ways. That's the nice thing about this franchise is it does leave itself back doors where they could press the undo button.
Okay, so if they get the guy who wrote the undo button for Days of Future Past, or Deadpool 2 when he travels back in time and shoots himself, like that'd be great. Like honestly, watching John Wick Neo fight young Neo would be fucking great. That'd be cool if you just did some sort of like super advanced camera witchery to capture his spirit in the camera, like the deep Nubians were afraid of. The camera steals your soul kind of thing, and then you recreate a real Keanu Reeves digitally for a movie about being trapped in a computer. And then you could get real meta with that, where it's like, well, which if the audience doesn't know which ones, if the VFX are so good that they can do a false Keanu Reeves, and we don't know that we're actually looking at an AI deepfake, that's when it starts to get real fun. It's like, oh, you're not watching the real actors, or are you? And that's where I feel like you could, if you really wanted to pull off the wow factor of the first Matrix. What wowed us that we'd never seen before, and we were like, whoa, that was cool. And it was dramatic. You punctuated those moments at the exact right time and didn't overuse it. If everything was bullet time, it would have been dumb.
It would have been the second and third movies.
Yeah, basically, it would have been like, okay, we know you can do this trick now, we get it.
Well, and
But like
that was like the Star Wars prequel problem where it was like they just kept pulling out their lightsaber. Every problem,
lights,
lightsaber,
yeah,
lightsaber, lightsaber.
yeah, when everyone's like, don't lose this, and then later like a dude has like 12 on his belt and just
Yeah,
throws
it's
a
like
spare.
who cares?
You're
Yeah,
like,
what's important
you
about a
guys got
lightsaber?
these things
Everyone has
everywhere.
them. Yeah.
It's like that bartender is using one to sweep the back of the bar.
No, but
It's like
yeah, bullet time was. It stood on its own. It was a special moment in the movie. It was.
it mattered.
Yeah.
It mattered. It wasn't just a V effect. It was an actual pivotal moment in the story,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that's where a lot of movies have lost it. And I would say probably the last time that I saw that used correctly was uh, Infinity War, when Thor warps in with the lightning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was cool, and he just decimates a whole battlefield, and you're like, yes, there we go. And it was the same effect, but done in a very dramatic way. It was a very pivotal moment in the movie.
Yeah.
And then the snap itself with no sound effects and no music, and you're like, oh, and the kids crying in the front row in front of us, and I'll love it forever because it's like how I feel when I watched like Empire Strikes Back.
Well, that was just
And
a
like,
theater full of people who have never read comic books in their life. That's the thing about Infinity War that
right,
surprised
right.
them.
Well, and I guess what I'm saying is like, but they're using that moment and those effects to create an emotion in the movie, right? The bullet time moment's important because it pays off a huge scene for Trinity. Trinity doesn't run,
Mm-hmm.
and then she shoots the agent, and it's the first time we've ever seen an agent get killed.
Yeah.
So it's huge, and she does it. That he doesn't. He just does the VFX. So it's a good, well-contained moment that was paid off by good VFX and good acting on both parts. And I feel like, as far as this new one goes, it's gonna really really lean heavily on the support cast because we already know what Keanu's his range.
Mm-hmm.
We you know we already know Carrie Ann Moss's range. Like we kind of know who they are as actors. We know what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's going to be all these like the fake Morpheus and the fake original cast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I it could be interesting. I'll wait for word of mouth. If I don't hear anything
I
particularly fun about it, then it'll be
I'm surprisingly finding myself a little bit optimistic about this one.
because we haven't seen a good movie in so long.
Well, no, but I like. I mean, and you could create a great trailer. I mean, that's pretty easy. Man of Steel had a fantastic trailer.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace had an amazing trailer. There's like making a great trailer isn't enough, but I do feel like there's enough interesting things, interesting story elements that were presented here that would go like, huh, I'd like to see where that could go. It doesn't. I mean, every movie that's a sequel is just an obvious cash grab, but this feels
Right.
like there might be that little bit extra. Like maybe someone had an idea, and it was an interesting idea, and they wanted to put it on screen, which is the whole point of why I want to go see a movie. It's an interesting idea. That's
Right.
what I want to see.
And like we started with, like we know the execution's going to be on point. Like it's the group of people that he has from John Wick, and it's like
Yeah.
we're not stepping so far out of his genre and out of his realm that the surprises aren't. I don't feel like they're not going to come from him. Like he
No.
surprised us with the John Wick, and he's crying about the dog and stuff, and we're like, oh man, I'd go on a murderous spree if I was the Baba Yaga,
Right?
like
Yeah.
that would do it. But like, I guess my question is like, what's gonna make me see Neo on screen and forget about the other two movies? And it can be done because Days of Future Past, I said they did it. They went back and they kind of like took the slinky and turned it into a straight line, and I was like, this is impressive. This
Yeah.
is good writing. And then they subsequently put the slinky back. I guess I don't know what they were doing, but. I guess my question is, am I going to get half of a movie, or am I going to watch this movie and think that all the best parts were in the trailer?
I feel like
That's
there's
a
a lot
risk.
of well, yeah, I know, but I feel like there's a lot of interesting story that they presented here. I personally am leaning towards seeing it in the theater. I don't know if I'll see it day one. I don't really do that anymore, just because I've been burned too many times,
Yeah.
especially lately. And
Who was the last first day? See, we're the target audience for good first showings, and we don't even remember.
yeah, I
I
don't.
can tell I can tell you what mine was.
What?
What was the last movie you and I saw together?
Deadpool 2?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't,
that
I don't know if
was.
that was I don't know if that was first day. It might have been first
No.
day. It was
Uh,
definitely opening weekend. I think it opened on a Thursday, so I think we saw it opening weekend. But
you saw
Star Wars,
you saw Last Jedi on first day with us.
did I?
Yeah, and I was sitting in
That was
line.
that was
I was sitting in
that
line
was
saying that I just hope they
that,
kill everyone off in the movie.
that was the first day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the two Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
which again, same thing as The Hobbit.
You
I
know,
just
but honestly, for everyone that was getting excited over those trailers, I felt like something was off in those trailers, and I did not get excited over those. This one, like, I'm feeling that excitement in it. I think they may have pulled something off here, but at the same time, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of caution on this one.
I mean, to their credit, they did get back Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss,
Yep.
which the movie doesn't happen without them. And
No.
like Carrie Ann Moss might need the payday, but Keanu's doing just fine cranking out John Wick. So
Yeah, I know, and they shifted release dates around. Apparently, John Wick and this one were originally going to land on the same weekend.
dude, that would have been epic. I would have gone first showing to both
Right? Just
and have
go
been
from one
like
to the other.
the Keanu double feature. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they have done that?
Uh,
My God, that would have been great. Just make it a double feature, literally.
yeah.
Just can you ever have too much Keanu? I don't think so, actually, and that's not a thing.
Yeah. So anyway,
Uh, yeah, I think we definitely have an interesting movie on the horizon. Whether or not it's worth a first day or even a theater release, or if it's a red box kind of deal, tough to say. It'll be interesting to see if they do another like revised trailer at some point, or if they let this one be the only one and let it ride.
I don't know if you checked out the website leading up to the trailer drop. They just had the two pills on the website, and you can click on one or the other. And the website, I think it said it had like 180,000 variations that could happen as far as it would show little clips from the trailer with different voiceover audio going on, and it
Interesting.
would tell you like I clicked on it at 1 p.m. and it's like it read the time back to me. It's like, you're sitting, somewhere, it is 1 p.m. and da da da, and I was like, oh, this is pretty this is pretty
That
immersive.
sounds settling.
It
That's
was a
good.
very good marketing campaign, like, as good as the
That's
one for the Dark
good.
Knight. So I have a feeling there's
Well,
going to be more stuff like that.
I will say today I was scrolling the internet and was like Matrix trailer. I was like, that's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah.
So they even found me, which
Right.
as as good as and on this as I used to be, it's going to take a lot for them to draw me back. I'm going to be the skeptical badger.
Okay, well, I'll probably be the word of mouth letting you know whether or not you need to see it, and you'll just probably ignore me.
That's
But
that. That's definitely how this is going to play out for sure.
yeah, I'll see it. I'll tell you you need to see it. You'll ignore me for years, and then you'll watch it years later and be like, "Oh, that's pretty good. Why didn't you tell me about it?"
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you recommend that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. I think that covers the base on that one.
Yep. We'll probably do a follow up in December on this one, but in the meantime, we'll do some more. I think trailer analyses, because that's all I feel like
Yeah,
watching
this is,
lately.
yeah. Yeah. Basically, it's my attention span ends there.
Pretty much.
Oh wait, we don't have an outro, so we could do like
Oh,
outro.
that's your outro. That's it right there.